Feeding a large family has always required more than recipes. It demands a philosophy of balance, patience, and foresight. The Amish have quietly refined that philosophy for generations, shaping a food system built on trust in the land, discipline in the home, and respect for what nature provides. Every loaf, every jar, every garden bed reflects a self-reliant rhythm that turns modest means into lasting security. Where modern households see scarcity, the Amish see opportunity to stretch, preserve, and repurpose. Their approach eliminates dependency on fragile supply chains and instead rewards cooperation and careful stewardship. In an Amish kitchen, simplicity is not deprivation, it is intelligent design. Theirs is a model of economy rooted in the understanding that abundance begins not with what you buy, but with how wisely you use what you already have. Baking bread every day. Daily bread making remains a hallmark of Amish domestic life. Before sunrise, dough rises quietly in wooden bowls near the stove's warmth. By morning, ovens glow with rows of loaves that will sustain the family for days. The ingredients, flour, water, yeast, salt, and sometimes a spoonful of honey, cost mere cents, yet the result equals or surpasses store bread worth several dollars. The Amish bake in batches because heating an oven for one loaf wastes precious fuel. Some loaves are eaten fresh, others stored or sliced for drying into breadcrumbs. Day-old bread becomes stuffing or bread pudding, ensuring nothing is discarded. Over a year, this practice can save a household hundreds of dollars. But beyond cost, the process itself builds rhythm and skill. Children learn kneading and timing, understanding texture and patience. Each loaf reflects frugality and self-reliance, evidence that the simplest ingredients handled with care can meet daily needs better than anything purchased pre-packaged. Cooking big with simple staples. 4 basic ingredients, flour, beans, oats, and potatoes, form the dependable foundation of nearly every Amish meal. They are inexpensive, easy to store, and endlessly adaptable. Flour becomes bread, noodles, pancakes, and dumplings. Beans turn into soups, spreads, and hearty stews rich in protein. Oats transform breakfast into slow-cooked fuel that sustains physical labor. Potatoes appear in every imaginable form, providing substance at pennies a pound. When meat is scarce or expensive, these staples stretch it further. 1 pound of beef can feed 12 people when mixed with beans and oats. Amish homemakers store these foods in cool, dry pantries inside sealed crocks or bins, protecting them from humidity and pests. Because they last for months without spoilage, families can buy in bulk and cook efficiently year-round. This predictable base of ingredients ensures nutrition stability while allowing creativity. One day's leftovers become the next day's meal variation. In every case, the lesson is consistency. Control costs by mastering a few versatile staples rather than chasing variety that drains the budget. Homegrown vegetables. Nearly every Amish homestead supports a garden large enough to feed the household and still produce excess for trading or canning. Gardens are planned months ahead, with crop rotations that protect soil fertility. Corn, beans, squash, carrots, cabbage, and tomatoes are common, along with herbs like dill and parsley near the kitchen door. Children learn planting and weeding as regular chores, reinforcing discipline and gratitude. The reward comes in baskets of fresh produce that would cost hundreds of dollars in a store. Surpluses become canned sauces, frozen corn, or root-cellar storage for winter. Because seeds are inexpensive and compost provides free fertilizer, the return on investment is remarkable. Gardening also eliminates dependence on transported produce, ensuring that even during economic downturns, the family eats well. The Amish view the garden not as a hobby, but as insurance, a living pantry where effort today guarantees nourishment tomorrow. Bulk buying habits. Instead of weekly grocery trips, Amish families plan their purchases seasonally. Cooperative buying turns small budgets into wholesale power. Several households combine orders for 50-pound sacks of flour or 20-pound bags of sugar, purchased directly from mills or suppliers. By sharing transport and storage, each family gains access to prices usually reserved for institutions. The savings can approach 50% compared with retail costs. Bulk storage requires forethought, airtight barrels, metal bins, and wooden shelves raised from the floor to prevent moisture damage. Children help label containers by date to ensure rotation and freshness. This bulk buying culture strengthens community ties while safeguarding families against price swings and shortages. It also minimizes wasteful packaging and unnecessary travel. The guiding belief is simple: buy large, store wisely, share fairly, and the household stays fed through every season without financial strain. Root-cellar storage. Before refrigeration, Amish families perfected underground storage. A root cellar, cool, dark, and ventilated, keeps crops edible for months. Built partially below ground, the cellar maintains stable temperatures near 35 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Potatoes rest in wooden bins layered with straw. Carrots and beets lie in damp sand to preserve moisture. Apples hang in mesh sacks. Jars of preserves line the shelves. Vent pipes allow airflow while stone walls moderate humidity. The construction requires skill in drainage and insulation, but pays back for decades. Families using root cellars rarely buy fresh produce during winter, saving hundreds each year. Maintenance is simple: periodic cleaning, inspection for mold, and rotation of stock. It's a passive system requiring no electricity and little upkeep. This tradition exemplifies Amish practicality, using natural science and craftsmanship to store abundance safely through the lean months. Amish canning traditions. When harvest peaks, kitchens transform into small factories of preservation. Steam rises from kettles. Rows of glass jars clink gently as they cool on wooden tables. Families can everything from beans to peaches, sealing the abundance of summer for use in the cold months. Canning days are planned with military precision: washing, blanching, filling, sealing, and labeling. Pressure canners handle low-acid vegetables, while boiling water baths preserve fruits and pickles. Nothing is rushed. Safety and cleanliness come first to prevent spoilage. The result is shelves lined with color: red tomatoes, green beans, golden corn, amber applesauce. These jars represent both thrift and foresight, cutting winter grocery costs by as much as half. The process also maintains intergenerational knowledge. Older women teach proper timing and sealing. Younger ones bring energy to long hours of work. In an Amish household, canned goods are more than food. They're evidence of planning, cooperation, and mastery of the seasons. The Amish Soup Night highlights how Amish ingenuity stretches the smallest resources. A single chicken carcass, simmered slowly with bones intact, yields a broth rich in minerals. Add barley or noodles, leftover vegetables, and perhaps a handful of beans, and 12 servings emerge from what began as scraps. Slow cooking extracts maximum flavor while softening tougher ingredients. Families vary recipes seasonally: thick bean soup in winter, light vegetable broth in summer, but the principle stays constant. Make one pot nourish many. Soup freezes or cans well, offering quick future meals. Children learn patience watching pots simmer through the evening, understanding that good food requires time, not money. This tradition underscores frugality at its finest, transforming what others might discard into sustenance that warms the body and preserves resources for another day. Cooking once, eating twice. Efficiency defines Amish meal planning. Instead of cooking 3 separate times a day, homemakers think several meals ahead. A Sunday roast becomes Monday hash and Tuesday stew. Vegetables from supper appear in omelets the next morning. By preparing large batches and reinventing leftovers, they reduce time at the stove and conserve firewood or propane. Planning also lowers mental strain. With tomorrow's meal partly ready, there's less pressure each evening. The practice aligns with their broader ethic: make every task count and let nothing go to waste. Large cast iron pots and enamel roasting pans enable cooking in volume, while pantries stocked with staples ensure variety. This systematic reuse not only saves money, but also teaches adaptability. Food may appear different each day, yet its source and purpose remain the same: sustain the family efficiently. Amish egg magic. A flock of backyard hens represents steady nutrition and near-zero grocery dependence. Each chicken provides dozens of eggs monthly, yielding breakfasts, baking ingredients, and protein for main dishes. The surplus becomes pickled eggs or dried yolks stored for winter. Feed costs remain minimal because hens often roam free, eating insects and kitchen scraps. The nutritional value surpasses store eggs, with richer yolks and higher protein content. Nothing goes unused. Crushed shells add calcium to garden soil, while older hens become stew meat. Children collect eggs daily, learning care and responsibility. For the Amish, chickens embody a perfect balance of effort and return: low input, high reward, continual supply. Maintaining even a small flock demonstrates the principle of self-sufficiency at the core of Amish food tradition. simple but filling breakfasts. Amish mornings begin before sunrise, and breakfast is built to match the demands of a full day's labor. Rather than sugary cereals or convenience foods, meals focus on slow-burning energy and affordability. Oats cooked with milk create creamy porridge that costs a fraction of boxed cereals while offering lasting nourishment. Fried potatoes, left over from the previous evening's supper, are combined with onions and herbs for flavor. Fresh eggs, often gathered that same morning, provide high-quality protein. Cornbread made from stone-ground cornmeal is baked in cast-iron pans, producing hearty slices served warm with homemade butter or apple butter. Coffee or hot milk completes the table, simple, strong, and satisfying. Nothing about this breakfast is wasteful. It uses what the family already produces, recycles yesterday's ingredients, and relies on staple foods that can be stored for months. The purpose is not indulgence, but endurance. Fuel for work, warmth for early mornings, and gratitude for the resources at hand. By emphasizing substance over luxury, Amish breakfasts demonstrate the efficiency of simplicity and the satisfaction that comes from eating the fruits of one's own labor. Amish garden salads. During growing seasons, Amish families eat from their gardens daily. Fresh salads provide vitamins and variety while costing virtually nothing. Lettuce, spinach, onions, and radishes grow quickly and can be harvested multiple times. Herbs like dill, parsley, and basil add flavor without expense. Homemade dressings replace bottled varieties, simple combinations of cream, vinegar, honey, or herbs. They're mixed fresh, free of artificial additives or stabilizers. Because salads are seasonal, they align with the natural rhythm of the land. Lighter meals in spring and summer, hearty stews and stored produce in winter. Garden salads also showcase the Amish philosophy of self-sufficiency. When food is cultivated steps away from the kitchen, dependence on outside markets disappears. Even in the cold months, greenhouse methods or preserved vegetables extend access to greens. The savings are measurable, but the greater benefit lies in nutrition and freshness. Every bite connects the family to the work invested in the soil. This daily practice keeps food budgets low, health high, and waste minimal, demonstrating the economic power of living close to one's food source. Noodles and dumplings. Homemade noodles and dumplings are cornerstones of Amish cooking, offering nourishment, economy, and versatility in one. The dough requires only flour, eggs, and water, ingredients every pantry contains. Families roll the dough by hand, cutting it into strips for noodles or pinching small pieces for dumplings. Once dried, noodles store well in airtight jars, ready to enrich soups and stews at a moment's notice. Dumplings, cooked directly in broth, absorb flavor and bulk up meals, ensuring everyone at the table leaves full. These handmade carbohydrates serve the same purpose as pasta in modern kitchens, but at a fraction of the cost and without preservatives. Making noodles becomes a family event, often with children helping roll dough or hang strips to dry on racks by the stove. The process reinforces patience, coordination, and the value of work. In the Amish household, food preparation is education, each task teaching skill and thrift. Homemade pasta also makes effective use of surplus eggs during laying seasons, preserving value that might otherwise go unused. It's another example of how the Amish turn time and tradition into tangible savings. Sweet savings with Amish desserts. Desserts in Amish homes balance thrift with tradition. They rely on ingredients already present in the pantry: flour, sugar, molasses, lard, and fruit. Pies filled with apples, rhubarb, or berries harvested in summer provide sweetness without expensive additives. Bread pudding transforms day-old loaves into a comforting dessert with minimal cost. Molasses cookies, choufle pie, and puddings made from leftover milk or eggs demonstrate how the Amish turn surplus into satisfaction. Nothing fancy, no pre-made mixes or store frostings, just simple chemistry and patience. These recipes often pass through generations unchanged, connecting family history to everyday life. While store-bought sweets can cost several dollars per serving, Amish desserts often total only a few cents each. More importantly, they avoid artificial ingredients, using time and care as the main investments. The result is wholesome comfort food that strengthens both family bonds and budgets. It's proof that frugality need not sacrifice enjoyment, and that the richest flavors often come from the simplest sources. Seasonal eating the Amish way. Amish families follow the seasons not just in work but in diet. Spring meals feature early greens, radishes, and eggs, the first signs of renewal after winter scarcity. Summer brings abundance: tomatoes, corn, cucumbers, and berries. Autumn emphasizes root vegetables, squash, and preserved goods. Winter meals rely on canned produce, potatoes, and dried grains, sustaining families until the cycle begins anew. This natural rotation prevents boredom and ensures that food is consumed at its nutritional peak. It also eliminates the high costs of out-of-season produce shipped long distances. Families anticipate each crop's return, building appreciation for variety as a gift of time rather than constant availability. Planning around seasonal abundance also simplifies budgeting. Money spent on seeds and canning supplies replaces far greater grocery bills later in the year. By aligning consumption with nature's cycles, the Amish maintain both economic and environmental sustainability. Every season brings its own flavor, rhythm, and purpose, proving that restraint and timing are the keys to lasting abundance. Amish dairy economy. Few investments yield as much return as a dairy cow in an Amish household. A single animal can provide several gallons of milk daily, enough for drinking, baking, butter, cheese, and cream. Surplus milk becomes buttermilk, yogurt, or cheese stored for the future. Butter churning uses simple wooden dashers and takes only minutes, transforming excess cream into golden, spreadable wealth. Whey left from cheesemaking enriches bread dough, ensuring no nutrient is wasted. The initial cost of the cow is offset within months by the elimination of commercial dairy purchases. Proper care and balanced feeding ensure the animal's health and productivity, often supported by help from neighboring families. Beyond economics, owning a cow represents independence, control over one's food source without reliance on fluctuating store prices. Dairy processing also becomes part of family education, teaching responsibility and the value of steady labor. The result is a complete circular economy, one animal supporting nutrition, commerce, and community through disciplined management. Community sharing of food. The Amish community structure relies on mutual aid. Food sharing networks ensure that everyone, regardless of circumstance, has enough. When one family's garden overproduces, they share with neighbors whose crops suffered. A surplus of milk might be traded for eggs, butter exchanged for labor, or canned goods swapped between households. Bulk buying also functions as communal cooperation. Multiple families combine orders for wholesale discounts, saving collectively. These informal exchanges eliminate waste and strengthen relationships. There is no concept of profit in such transactions. The currency is trust and reciprocity. This approach guards against hardship during poor harvests or illness, embodying the Amish belief that community sustains what individual wealth cannot. Cooperation extends even to food preservation. Families gather to can together, turning long workdays into social events. The efficiency of shared effort, coupled with collective wisdom, keeps expenses minimal while reinforcing the moral foundation of Amish life. That prosperity is meant to be distributed, not hoarded. Cooking with lard and drippings. Animal fats are central to Amish cooking for both flavor and practicality. When meat is prepared, every ounce of fat is rendered and stored in jars for later use. Lard replaces expensive cooking oils and produces superior results in frying, baking, and pastry making. Bacon grease adds smoky depth to vegetables, eggs, and gravies. Unlike processed oils, natural fats remain stable without refrigeration and require no packaging or preservatives. They provide calories necessary for hard labor and create the distinct richness associated with traditional Amish food. Using drippings prevents waste while capturing flavor that modern households often discard. Even the act of rendering fat becomes part of kitchen rhythm, done slowly on low heat to produce clean, reusable lard. The practice exemplifies Amish efficiency. Nothing edible is wasted, and every byproduct finds purpose. What others see as scraps, the Amish regard as resources, another example of how their culinary discipline transforms necessity into abundance. Feeding kids the Amish way. In Amish homes, children eat exactly what adults eat. There are no separate menus or special requests, and mealtime discipline begins early. This uniform approach simplifies cooking, reduces waste, and teaches children to appreciate simple foods. Meals emphasize nourishment over novelty. Mashed potatoes, vegetables, soups, and homemade bread form the foundation. Picky eating is rare because appetite and gratitude are learned together. When children help with meal preparation, they gain respect for the effort behind each dish. This shared experience eliminates the cost and complexity of preparing separate, kid-friendly foods found in many modern households. It also reinforces family unity, as everyone gathers around one meal made from the same labor and ingredients. The result is efficiency in both kitchen management and character building. By valuing practicality and gratitude, Amish families ensure that their children carry forward habits that support self-sufficiency and reduce unnecessary consumption. Amish work lunches. Midday meals for working Amish men and women are built around practicality and portability. Lunchboxes, often made of sturdy tin or wicker, are packed early with foods designed to last through hours of fieldwork or carpentry. Thick slices of homemade bread form the base for sandwiches filled with leftover roast, cheese, or pickled vegetables. Hard-boiled eggs travel well and add protein at no extra cost. Apple slices, hand pies, or cookies baked in bulk provide simple sweetness. Every component is chosen for durability, not decoration. There's no plastic packaging or processed snacks. The goal is sustenance, a filling, balanced meal that keeps energy steady throughout the day. Nothing in the lunch pail is wasted. Crumbs become chicken feed, apple cores feed livestock, and cloth napkins replace disposables. For the Amish, lunch represents more than nourishment. It's a reflection of values. Efficiency, preparation, and gratitude are woven into each bite. The cost of these meals is minimal compared to restaurant or prepackaged lunches, yet they consistently deliver better nutrition and satisfaction. Each lunch embodies a quiet truth. Feeding oneself well begins with foresight, not spending. Homemade Amish snacks. Between meals, Amish households rely on simple, homemade snacks. Popcorn is a favorite, kernels purchased in bulk and popped on the stove with a bit of lard or butter. Fried dough pieces dusted with sugar, soft pretzels, and roasted nuts appear regularly, all made from basic ingredients already in the pantry. These snacks cost pennies compared to store-bought varieties and contain no artificial colors or preservatives. Making them also provides a chance for family participation. Children often shape pretzels or watch kernels pop in delight. The snacks serve both practical and cultural purposes, keeping hunger satisfied during long workdays and reinforcing a lifestyle rooted in moderation and creativity. Unlike processed snacks that encourage overindulgence, Amish treats are enjoyed sparingly and made fresh. They illustrate the broader philosophy that food should nourish, not distract. It should be part of life's rhythm, not a constant craving. Foraging the Amish way. Foraging remains a respected tradition among Amish communities, blending survival skill with gratitude toward the land. Families recognize the value of wild-growing foods that others overlook: blackberries along fence rows, dandelion greens in spring, walnuts in fall, and mushrooms hidden beneath trees. Foraging costs nothing, yet provides flavor, variety, and nutrition that rival store-bought goods. These natural ingredients find their way into pies, jams, teas, and medicinal salves. Knowledge of what's edible is passed carefully from elders to children during supervised walks, ensuring safety and sustainability. Foraging teaches discernment, identifying useful plants, respecting property boundaries, and never taking more than the land can give. The practice also deepens connection to the natural environment, reinforcing humility and appreciation for creation. Economically, it reduces reliance on markets while diversifying the household diet. Spiritually, it affirms a sense of stewardship. Food gathered directly from the earth reminds each generation that abundance already exists around them if one only learns to see it. Cheap Amish comfort food. Comfort food in Amish culture is not indulgent, it's practical warmth. Dishes like mashed potatoes, buttered noodles, and thick gravies deliver satisfaction using minimal, inexpensive ingredients. Dumplings float atop rich soups. Casseroles combine leftovers with cream or eggs to create new, hearty meals. The cost of these dishes remains extremely low, yet they nourish both body and spirit. Their power lies in familiarity. The same recipes appear across generations, connecting families to shared history. Most rely on locally sourced staples like milk, flour, and lard, ensuring affordability even in lean times. Unlike modern comfort foods sold prepackaged, Amish versions contain no wasteful packaging or synthetic additives. Everything is cooked fresh, seasoned simply, and portioned wisely. These meals remind families that joy at the table comes from care, not expense. When life grows uncertain or resources stretch thin, comfort foods stand as edible reassurance that tradition and simplicity can still provide abundance. Leftovers into new dishes. Amish kitchens operate on the principle that no edible food is ever single-use. A meal's leftovers are viewed as ingredients for tomorrow's creation. Sunday roast becomes Monday hash, soup vegetables transform into casseroles, and small pieces of meat flavor gravies or stews. This practice requires foresight, planning each dish with its next transformation in mind. Rather than serving reheated meals, cooks reinvent them through texture and seasoning, providing variety without new expense. This creativity minimizes waste, stretches the budget, and keeps daily cooking efficient. It also ensures that every member of the household experiences novelty despite limited ingredients. Leftover management becomes an art form, blending intuition with practicality. By mastering this cycle, Amish homemakers turn what others would discard into the backbone of weekly meal planning, demonstrating that abundance comes not from buying more, but from using better. Amish seasonal feasts. Seasonal feasts bring the community together to celebrate harvest, fellowship, and shared labor. Corn roasts in late summer, apple butter boils in early fall, and midwinter gatherings all follow the same philosophy: use what's plentiful, waste nothing, and share freely. Families contribute dishes made from seasonal ingredients: fresh vegetables, baked pies, pickled relishes, and roasted meats. Large communal meals lower individual expenses while strengthening social ties. Feasts also double as workdays, husking, canning, or preserving, alongside laughter and song. The shared effort turns necessity into festivity. Children learn both hospitality and humility, that abundance is meant to be enjoyed collectively, not hoarded privately. These events also mark seasonal transitions, reinforcing the rhythm that guides Amish life. Economically, they distribute food equitably across families while celebrating the rewards of cooperation. In every sense, seasonal feasts embody the Amish ideal: community before consumption, gratitude before indulgence, and plenty achieved through unity, not excess. Homemade Amish pantry staples. Self-sufficiency extends even to condiments and seasonings in Amish homes. Instead of buying jars of mayonnaise, ketchup, or salad dressing, families craft their own using common ingredients: eggs or vinegar, tomatoes, sugar, and herbs. Homemade versions taste fresher, last longer, and cost a fraction of commercial products. Bulk preparation during peak harvest seasons ensures year-round supply. For example, a bushel of tomatoes yields gallons of ketchup for pennies, while fresh herbs steeped in vinegar create flavorful dressings. This practice reduces dependence on outside supply chains and prevents chemical additives from entering the diet. It also keeps the kitchen's rhythm intact: ingredients grown, harvested, and preserved within the same household. The value extends beyond cost. It preserves knowledge, promotes healthier eating, and reaffirms control over what goes into every meal. By producing their own staples, the Amish complete the circle of frugality. Every item in the pantry a product of skill, planning, and care. The Amish way of feeding large families is not built on secret recipes or hidden shortcuts. It's founded on principles of respect, patience, and careful resource management. In every stage of their food system, planting, harvesting, preserving, and preparing, they demonstrate a harmony between work and wisdom that modern life often overlooks. Where others see limitations, the Amish see structure. Where others waste, they refine. Their kitchens run like ecosystems, balanced and sustainable, proof that abundance comes not from affluence, but from attentiveness. These 30 practices reveal a truth both simple and profound. Self-reliance breeds security, cooperation multiplies prosperity, and gratitude transforms ordinary food into enduring wealth. The lesson extends beyond the dinner table. Live within your means, share what you have, and respect every grain, drop, and seed that sustains life. In a world chasing convenience, the Amish remind us that true comfort lies in tradition, discipline, and the quiet satisfaction of doing things the right way.